Hi, I'm Dave Wilson from LMG over here in the UK. Just want to spend a few moments to talk about how we've introduced IMVision into an end-to-end asset provisioning and connectivity solution for one of our global customers. Now, if we look at the drivers behind that for those, they have IMVision already, which they're using on an intelligent solution system, as well as a whole historic passive um, setup that they've got for many, many years. And the idea is to use IMVision for the connectivity and for looking at bringing that information back into Nlyte, which is their DCIM, which is their golden source of information. So we looked at how we can help them with that and use IMVision to bring that information in. Okay, so let's look at the tool chain involved here. So first off, we have ServiceNow, the ticketing system. We have Nlyte, the DCIM, and IMVision. End-to-end solution would look like this. So the requester would outline the requirements for an application, pass that over through to data center operations into Nlyte, who would then give a hardware profile, create a hardware profile, which will include things like geographic location, the building, room, zone, rack, position, and create a work order. Now it's that information that is passed over to IMVision for the infrastructure technician to rack and stack that equipment to the profile and allocate the ports and via the work order in IMVision, mount the equipment and patch. And then once he's done that, he would update IMVision. IMVision would update Nlyte. Therefore, the work order would then be passed back to ServiceNow for completion and ticket closed. That's the chain end to end. The two pieces that we're interested in here is Nlyte and IMVision. And how do we join those two up? And how do we allow that information between profile of the equipment and the patching information? Well, the easiest way to do it and the way we've chosen is to use APIs. Now, both systems come with a full suite of APIs allowing us to grab information and put information and allow us to go quite deep into the type and information that we want of each of the pieces of equipment and the patching. So Nlyte on that side would create the hardware profile, and the synchronization middleware would see that be created and pass it over to IMVision for provisioning. As we've seen in the previous slide, the infrastructure technician would then rack and stack and mount that piece of equipment and carry out the patching to the requirement. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information there. Now, the synchronization middleware would interrogate IMVision, and if that information didn't exist, such as the building, the room, the zone, the floor, it would automatically create that. So there's no pre-provisioning in IMVision. Whatever you get from Nlyte will be passed over to IMVision and get created. Net new, if you will. So once the patching information has been done, the panels, the connectivity information is passed back through or by the synchronization middleware back into Nlyte, so that Nlyte's infrastructure information is dynamically updated and ready to be interrogated. So you've seen how the synchronization middleware uses APIs to pass information back and forth. Now, it doesn't have to be waiting for new equipment to be created. It monitors both sides. So if there are any business as usual moves, adds and changes, such as patching, connectivity, relocation of the kit for one reason or another, the middleware will pick that up and pass that straight back to Nlyte or DCIM in this instance, allowing DCIM and Nlyte to be totally up to date and keeping that trusted source of information for the end user. Looking at it again, you've got the ability for the decommissions or end of life of equipment in Nlyte. Removals will update IMVision, allowing the infrastructure engineer to remove all cabling connectivity and record that information back. There is the ability to provide capacity planning whereby you know the information is up to date. You can use either system to look at the infrastructure or the assets, or both, and also create what-if scenarios, knowing that that sits side by side with each one. Now, the next stage after that, because we're using APIs and because the middleware is just monitoring events, we can forward those events to any other third-party management application outside of DCIM or cabling infrastructure, such as adding into a single pane of glass to give the end user even more visibility and trusted information, looking at not only the cabling or the assets, but their power, heat, cooling, lighting, etc., etc. So it's just part of that ability to keep these things up to date. And who knows, there's other customized add-ons coming down the road that this thing will fit and work with. Well, I hope that's given you a flavour of what we've done. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or LMG here in the UK. Until the next time, thanks for listening.